This is the blessing with which Moses, the man of God, blessed the Israelites before his death. He said, God's presence came from Mount Sinai to meet them. He shone forth to them after coming from Mount Seir. He appeared after coming from Mount Paran. He came with some of the holy myriads of the angels. From his right hand he gave them his law while speaking out of the fire. Indeed, he showed love for the nations. All tribes, all your holy ones are in your hand, for they crowded at your feet to bear the responsibility of fulfilling your utterances. The Torah that Moses commanded us in the legacy of the assembly of Jacob. He is king over Yeshurun, and blesses them when the totality of the people are gathered, and the tribes of Israel are together in harmony. May Reuben both live in this world and not die in the afterlife, and may his people be counted among the number of the tribes. He said, May this blessing be granted to Yehudah. God, hearken to the voice of Yehudah. Bring him safely to his people. May his hands do battle successfully for him, and may you be a help against his adversaries. Referring to Levi, he said, Your Tumim and your Urim befit Aharon, your pious man, whom you tested at Massah, and whom you tried with the water of contention. Each Levite said of his maternal grandfather, I do not see him as my relative, neither did he recognize his maternal half-brothers, nor did he know his grandchildren. They are also worthy of blessing, because they observed your word, and you kept your covenant. And they kept your covenant. They will teach your ordinances to Yaakov, and your Torah to Israel. They will set incense before you, and place ascent offerings upon your altar. God bless their army, and favorably accept the work of their hands. Strike the loins both of those who rise up against them, and of their enemies, so they be prevented from rising up against them again. He said of Benjamin, God's beloved one will dwell securely beside him. He hovers above him all day long. He dwells between his shoulders. He said of Joseph, May his land be blessed by God with the delicacies produced by heaven through dew, with the water of the deep that lies below and rises to the surface to moisten the soil, with the delicacies that are the produce of the sun, which ripens them, the delicacies ripened monthly by the moon, with the first ripening fruits of mountains, which produce ripened early, with the delicacies of the hills that produce fruit perennially, with the delicacies produced by the land in its fullness, and with the favor of God, who dwells in and revealed himself in a thorn bush. May these blessings rest upon Joseph's head, upon the crown of the one who was separated from his brothers. Glory has been given to his preeminent descendant, his work bull, blessed with military prowess. May his horns be as beautiful as the horns of an aurochs. With them he will gore at once nations from all the ends of the earth. They are the myriads who will be slain by a descendant of Ephraim, as well as the thousands who will be slain by a descendant of Manasseh. He said to Zebulun, Rejoice, Zebulun, in your departure to engage in commerce, and Issachar in your tents where you study the Torah. They will call nations the tribes of Israel, the temple mountain. They will offer up proper sacrifices there, because Zebulun will be nourishing by the abundance of the seas, and by the caches hidden in the sand. He said of Gad, Blessed be he who expands the territory of Gad. May he dwell like a fearsome lion, tearing off the arm of his prey with the head. He said that at the first portion of your conquests befitting him, because there the burial site of the lawgiver is hidden. He will go at the head of the people. He will do what God considers righteous and fulfill his legal obligations towards Israel. He said of Dan, Dan is a young lion. His territory contains a stream from flows from Bashan. He said of Naphtali, the territory of Naphtali is satiated with everything it can desire, for its territory is full of God's blessing. Possess Lake Kinneret with its south shore. He said of Asher, Asher will be blessed with sons. He will gratify his brothers. He will be sought after by his brothers to marry his womenfolk. His land will produce so much olive oil that wherever he goes he will immerse his foot in oil. Your mountains, the protective locks in the land of Israel, are rich in iron and copper. The days of your old age will be as idyllic as the days of your youth. Yeshurun there is none like God, God who figuratively rides the heavens as your assistant. With his majesty he rides on the skies. Which are the abode for him, the God who preceded all false deities. All the world's mighty ones are figuratively situated below him. He expelled the enemy from before you and said to you, destroy them. Israel will dwell safely and individually, just as Yaakov blessed them, in a land of grain and wine, and also their land's heaven will drip dew. Fortunate are you, Israel, who is like you, a people saved by God, the shield of Avraham, the shield who helps you, your majestic sword. Your enemies will lie to you out of fear, but you will tread upon their heights. Moshe descended from the plains of Moab to the peak of Mount Nebo, facing Jericho. God showed him all the land of Israel, the Gilead to Dan, all of Naphtali, the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, all of the land of Yehudah until the western sea, the south, the plain of the valley of Jericho, and the city of palm trees until Zoar. God said to him, this is the land that I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you will not cross over there. Moshe, the servant of God, died there in Moab by the mouth of God. God buried him in the valley in Moab, opposite Beit Peor. No person knows the place of his burial site to this day. Moshe was 121 years old when he died. His facial color did not pale after he died, nor did his body lose its natural freshness. The Israelites wept for Moshe in the plains of Moab for 30 days. The days of weeping over the mourning for Moshe came to an end, and Yehoshua, son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom, because Moshe had laid his hands upon him. The Israelites obeyed him, and they did as God had commanded Moshe. There never arose another prophet in Israel like Moshe, whom God knew face to face, with regard to all the signs and marvels that God had sent him to perform in Egypt, before Pharaoh, all his courtiers, and all his land, nor with regard to the strong hand with which he carried the tablets of the covenant, nor with regard to the miracles that he performed in the great awesome desert which Moshe did in view of all Israel. In the beginning of God's creation of heaven and earth, when the earth was astonishingly void with darkness over the surface of the abyss, and God's Spirit hovered over the surface of the water, God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, so God separated between the light and the darkness. God called to the light and assigned it to the day, and he called to the darkness and assigned it to the night. Thus there was the first nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and then morning, followed by the rest of the day together, constituting one full day. God said, "Let there be a sky in the midst of the water, and it will separate between atmospheric water and ocean water." So God positioned the sky and thus separated the water below the sky from the water above the sky. And so it was. God called the sky heaven. There was nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and morning, followed by the rest of the day, together constituting a second day. God said, "Let the water below the heaven be gathered to one place. The oceans so dry land should be seen," and so it was. God called the dry land earth, and he called the gathering of the water seas. God saw that it was good. God said, "Let the earth begin to sprout vegetation, underground, seed-bearing plants, and trees whose bark tastes the same as its fruit, that produces fruits with seeds according to their species on the earth." And so it was. The earth gave forth vegetation, plants bearing seeds according to their species, trees whose bark did not taste the same as their fruit, only producing fruits containing seeds according to their species. God saw that it was good. There was nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and morning, followed by the rest of the day, together constituting a third day. God said, "Let there be luminaries in the sky to separate between day and night. They will serve as signs for setting the dates of the Jewish festivals, and for reckoning days and years. They will also serve as luminaries in the sky to shine on the earth." And so it was, as follows. God positioned the two great luminaries, the sun and the moon. God assigned the greater light, the sun, to rule the day, and the smaller light, the moon, to rule the night, accompanied by the stars and the planets. God placed them in the sky to shine on the earth, to rule by day and by night, and to separate between the light and the darkness. God saw that it was good. There was a nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and morning, followed by the rest of the day, together constituting a fourth day. God said, "Let the water teem with low-lying, swimming, living creatures, and let fowl issue from the mud of the swamps, and fly over the earth across the sky." God created the great sea creatures, as well as every species of low-lying living creature that swims, which the water produced, and every species of winged fowl. God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and prolific. Sea creatures, fill the water in the seas, and let the flying creatures multiply on the land." There was nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and morning, followed by the rest of the day, together constituting a fifth day. God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their species, domestic animals, low-lying creatures, and other wildlife of the earth according to their species." And so it was. God made the wildlife of the earth according to their species, domestic animals according to their species, and low-lying creatures of the earth according to their species. God saw that it was good. God said to his heavenly court, "Let us make a human in our image, but according to our likeness. They will rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the domestic animals, and all the earth, as well as the reptiles that crawl on the earth." So God created the heavens in his image, the human in his image. He created him in the image of God. He created them as a single androgynous being, comprising both male and female bodies, attached back to back. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and prolific, fill the earth and master it. Rule also over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and all the living creatures that crawl on the earth." God said, "Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit. They will be yours for food. All plant vegetation will also serve for food for every creature of the earth, for every bird of the sky, and for everything that crawls on the ground, which possesses a living soul." And so it was. God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. There was nightfall, followed by the rest of the night, and morning, followed by the rest of the day, together constituting the sixth day. Heaven, earth, and all their components were thus completed on the sixth day. God finished his work that he had done on the seventh day. He rested on the seventh day from all the work he had been doing. God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, for on it he ceased from all his work, including that which God had created and planned to make on that day. The 8th day must be a time of restriction for you. You must not perform any mundane work. You must offer up an assent offering as a fire offering pleasing to God, 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old lambs, all unblemished. Their grain offerings and their libations for the bull, ram, and lambs, according to their number, as prescribed. 1 young he-goat as a sin offering, besides the continual assent offering, its grain offering, and its libation. You must offer these up for God on your festivals, besides your sacrificial vows and your sacrificial donations, for your assent offerings, grain offerings, libations, and peace offerings. Moshe spoke to the Israelites in accordance with all that God had commanded Moshe.